You have a question.
Thanks for all your supporting of Ukraine. I'm an international journalist from Ukraine, and I'm also involved in the process of city diplomacy because I'm an assistant of secretary of the city council in Uzhgorod. This is a city near the Hungarian and Slovakian border. I have one question to Mayor of Prague and one question to Klitschko. Concerning the city diplomacy, you know that I met with Mayor of Lugano in Switzerland, I met with city councillors in Innsbruck in Austria and many countries and cities in European Union and Europe. It's not difficult to establish such kind of relations between Ukrainian cities and the European because unfortunately it's a political step. So they may ask what will be the benefits for our own city, for the people who live there, if we establish some kind of relations with Ukrainian city in the east, in the south, or in the west of Ukraine. And concerning my famous politician, what is the general estimation of Munich Conference? What is the particular distinguish, can you estimate in supporting of Ukraine in this year, in these days, what you're feeling about new level of support in Ukraine, or we don't see any new level, just ordinary support, political support, and what next?
I have one more question over here. I think that we're going to come. Are you good? Do you want to ask a question? We have a microphone coming to you, and then we'll finish with this round of questions, and I'll get last words from our panel.
Thank you. Hello. Okay. My name is Rebecca Bart. I'm the correspondent in Ukraine for Germany's first channel, ARD. And I just wanted to ask if we could maybe include Mr. Klitschko to the discussion.
Right back,
and the question is, like, what can we talked about partnerships programs. Many cities in your country are actually being destroyed at the moment. So what can partner cities do at the very moment to support these heavily destroyed cities?
And particularly on the financial aid piece, because one thing in the German case, when sister cities had Ukrainian sister cities and built that into their budget, they could make help come to you as fast as possible. Not true so much for some other cities. So that's exactly the question that's now been raised twice. What more needs to happen? How do we get more aid, particularly quick, financial, effective aid to you through the lens of cities?
And that's actually what actually happened already with Hamburg. Just in the beginning of the invasion, Hamburg got united, in this case, as a sister city of Kyiv. And it was a signal for Prague, for Madrid, Warsaw, and that decision was made quick. And that's why decentralization is so critically important, and the communication between the cities, not just in one country, but also between the other countries. So those decisions could go faster. And that happened not just making decision to be united with someone like Hamburg and Kyiv, and I was like one of the founders of this initiative, but it's also a decision to stop, as it was between Beijing and Prague, to stop the relationship to the sister city from the past, maybe with a long, many decades history. And that was a good example where cities between, on a level, not really like governmental level, takes time to make any decision. And we see that with the support of Ukraine. Speaking also of my countrymen, what is Munich Security what is happening here is unbelievably important to be here, present here, and to have direct connection to all the allies of the free world that we're completely depending on right now as Ukraine. And I want to mention also just one case, which is painful to observe, that one of the mayors of the cities was called off to be a mayor of Chernihiv, due to senseless, in my opinion, senseless blame of evacuating his family, children, and so and wife, evacuating by a car that was kind of connected with the city council. So there was like a lot of it was just panic in those days. And you make decisions that are important, and you just evacuate families of your countrymen and women, of your city as well as your own family. So, and Mayor of Chernihiv was basically called off being a mayor for the next, I don't know, a year, or whatever the consequences is. But that's our internal politics in Ukraine. But it is important to be here. It is important to have direct connection to different levels and different people responsible for humanitarian help of Ukraine and military help. I'm not going to get into details, but this Munich Security Conference was extremely important for Ukraine for the next steps as well. And I wish, and I have a dream, that at the next conference, next year, we will stop talking about how great Ukrainians are. You didn't fail in 3 days, neither in 5 days. And this observation, and in the sport where I'm coming from, speed kills. That's what we say in boxing. But also speed with help and support of Ukraine saves lives, saves infrastructure, saves cities, and the mayors of the cities that have been stolen, killed, murdered already, and it's still going and continuing. And that's why it is my dream, and dream probably of many of you, that at the next Munich Security Conference, we're going to talk about the war as about the past, and make sure for the future that our decisions be made in the future faster, and this hesitation and flirting with Russia will stop, and Belarus, not to forget, will stop eventually. And that's going to be a prevention for the future conflicts and future destruction of life and infrastructure and Mother Nature as well. I hope this dream will come true. And next year we're going to meet here again with all of you, and maybe some more of you, and we'll talk about it, how to rebuild Ukraine and how to improve our bilateral relationship between the cities, between the countries, and how can we make this world a better place and make decisions with the consequences. Because if you don't know the consequences, you just will do whatever you want to do. Those consequences must occur, and military tribunal must be full with those people who today are killing us Ukrainians. And not just us Ukrainians, but trying to kill the democratic principles of the countries where we're living in. And I'm sorry, and I'm going to finish this. We think and talk about democracy. We're discussing about how we can improve and how we can react, and also with the consequences. It is absolutely important to understand how much joy we have to live in democracy. We talk about democracy, but we don't know what it feels like. And it's so great. So please, keep on supporting us in Ukraine, because we are you, and you are us. We're reflecting you, and we're fighting for you. Amen. And we're doing it with the heart and love, obsession that we're standing for. It's extreme shape of love. And doesn't matter what is in the front of us, one of the strongest armies in the world, or weapons, our will is indestructible, because it's our will of us, free world. Thank you. And I'm sorry for the long monologue.
That's great.